Okay. So yeah. So now these days I have been doing work from home. So I have been
Hmm.
staying at my home only. So this is the opportunity that
Oh,
I
so
got.
you work from home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's great. And what about YouTube? How did you come up with an idea of YouTube, and what do you think
Okay.
about YouTube and how it is going to help you in your journey?
Definitely, I can tell you this thing as well. Actually, YouTube is just part time for me. I'm not giving my full time out there because earlier
Hmm.
I didn't have this idea that I would start my YouTube channel in my future. But I just
Hmm.
got this idea by your kind of personified, because
Hmm.
your kind of personified have been uploading the realistic content on the YouTube. So
Hmm.
by those kinds of videos, I have been watching them for a long time. So I got the same idea, and I also started my YouTube channel, even though I started my YouTube channel long back, but that time I was
Hmm.
just uploading some technical kind of videos.
Okay, now you shifted from technical stuff to spoken English conversations.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
that's great. Of course, nowadays it's a ongoing thing. People like talking to each other. At the same time, they can upload the videos on YouTube. So they are going to get views, comments,
So
and this is very helpful to boost their confidence. They get appreciation from people, and it helps them to become better in their English. At the same time, they get opportunity to interact with the people from all around the country, all around the world. So that's a
so
great idea.
I would like to request you, could you please introduce yourself in a nutshell so that I can get to know about you better, if you don't mind?
Uh-huh, sure. My name is Ashutosh Trivedi, and I hail from Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh. About my education, I have recently completed my master's degree in English literature. Apart from this, I have been running a YouTube channel based on spoken English conversations for the past 3 years. And when it comes to my profession, so I'm a kind of self employed, and I'm conducting sessions for my students. I conduct one on one sessions, so which is very helpful for me along with the students. So that's what I'm doing nowadays. And about my hobbies, I was very much interested in, I would say, singing, photography, and playing cricket before. But when I joined YouTube and all those sessions, I don't get time to enjoy all those activities. So that's all about me. Thank you.
Yeah, it is quite phenomenal. You have introduced yourself in a very well manner. So I would like to know one more thing from your side. The
Mhm.
thing is that, like, as you told me that you have been helping the peers of English language, those who have been striving to learn this language, you are helping them. So how you are like,
Mhm.
you have been running particular kind of like spoken English classes, or and when you started for the first time those classes?
Yes, when I started my YouTube channel back in 2021, so actually few of my friends they introduced me the people who were preparing for IELTS in Canada. Basically, they were Indians, but they introduced me to them, and I talked to them. Then they requested me that, sir, can I just can I accept you as a trainer? I was quite I would say not confident at that time because I was a learner, I was new on YouTube, and you don't have a lot of experience with it, but they said no, don't worry, of course I will cooperate with you. That's how I started my journey being a trainer. I started helping with an IELTS speaking practice. I used to ask questions to them based on IELTS topics. That's how it started. So it's been around same like around 2.5 and 3 years. I've been training people for the past 3 years now, and I conduct one-on-one sessions especially where I talk to person one-on-one and I give them chance to speak as much as they can, and I conduct session for 30 minutes where they get enough time to speak. And at the end of the session or in between the session, I give them feedback or corrections, whatever they need. I understand their objective well, and accordingly, I help them with their spoken English.
Yeah, you are absolutely doing a great job, and do pat on your back because you have started earlier everything, and now you are doing rock in this thing. So congratulations from my side and from the audience side as well. So I
Thank you.
would like to, yeah, I would like to one more thing. So this is very general thing. I'm just asking. So why I'm just asking, because this is my personal question, because I literally want to be like that. So that is why I'm asking, because you
Mhm.
have been guiding. the people, those who are looking for IELTS and many other examination like this. So I think you are the right person who can tell me about this thing. So the question is that, like, if a person is being judged that he is advanced person, or a speaker. So how can I think, like,
Mhm.
how can I become, and how a person can become from intermediate to advanced speaker?
Yeah, from being a beginner to intermediate level, I think it does not take a lot of time and it does not take a lot of efforts as well. But when becoming from intermediate to advanced, it takes a lot of time and a lot of efforts. You need to go through writing, reading, listening, speaking with the people as much as you can. Because being an advanced in is not an easy task, of course. You can manage conversations, but when you want to be an advanced level speaker, you need to work really hard. So for that, you need to go through everything and try to refine yourself as much as you can. Record yourself, listen to your own conversations, and try to find your own grammatical mistakes, which you do. Focus on the minor mistakes. If you are making mistakes with the preposition, go back, just watch the lectures based on preposition and try to make it, just try to make implement in your speech. And second thing, when it comes to the words are also very important part if you want to sound an advanced level of speaker. So you need to go through a lot of reading or listening to get new words. So you can use them, not only learning words, try to use them in your conversation and learn words with the context and the situation. And second thing, sometimes we do writing and we write very simple, but better make it rephrase it. And nowadays we have AI, Chat GPT. So you can, whatever you write down on Chat GPT and try to write that rephrase in advanced English. So that Chat GPT is going to help you in the advanced sentence structure, that how you can make the better sentence structure in English. So all these things are there. I have been also working on it because I don't consider, and I'm not, of course, an advanced level of speaker. I'm still on that intermediate level where I need to work really hard to reach on that level. So I'm interacting with the native speakers, I'm interacting with the trainers and the people who are way more experienced than me, so I can get good tips and tricks for them. Today also I had a session from one trainer from England. So most of the time I make sure I talk to the people who come from the native English speaking countries, so they can give me a better idea, because they are teaching English as a second language in many countries like Japan, Thailand, Mexico. So they have a great idea that how to help the people who are learning English as a second language. So all these things I try to do it, and I make sure that I listen to everything in English and try to do it as much as you can, because push your boundaries. I cannot say that you can become an advanced level speaker in 3 months, 6 months, and 1 year. It depends on your efforts. It depends on your seriousness and how conscious you are towards your journey. So that matters a lot. So all these things are there to do. So keep doing it and keep hoping for the best. That's what I can say.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. I also have been striving for the same. And let's see what would happen in that. So one more question I got from your conversation, whatever you have explained so far. So the thing is that you mentioned about preposition. You mentioned about like parts of speech. I am mentioning about like parts of speech out here. So the thing is that, like, these things are essential to speak this language. Like, if somebody doesn't know how to use preposition, how to use parts of speech, so is it very crucial to to remember them while speaking this language?
Exactly, why not? You need to speak a right sentence structure, right? Because grammatically you should be correct. Either you speak
Okay.
simple sentences or complex sentences, that is not very important. You can speak anything, it's your choice. But at the same point of time, you need to have accuracy while speaking, right? So all these things are very important and they play vital role. So I'm not saying having a very deep knowledge about everything like noun, pronoun, and adjective,
Okay.
but you need to know that how to use in a sentence, and that you can learn by listening to it, by reading to it. It is not recommended to go and just study 10 or 20 grammar books to understand all those concepts. If you are very much interested in grammar, you can do it, but for somebody it is going to be like, oh my goodness, they can't do it. I feel very difficult to read grammar personally, but what I do, I try to listen to the podcast, to conversations, because they are authentic speakers and they are speakers who are speaking accurate English, not 100%, at least 90 or 95%. So by listening to them, we can learn the language. Same like we did in our native language, like I did in Hindi. I did not go through grammar when I was 4 years old and 5 years old, but by listening to the native speakers of Hindi, like my parents and my siblings and my friends, I learned Hindi. In the same way, we can learn English, but all those things are very important. If you're not able to understand by listening to it, by reading to it, then it is important for you to go through it and try to understand the concept and make sure that you use them in a right way. So some people I see, they have been learning English for very long, but at this time also they are listening to English content, they are talking to people, but at the same time they are not using right sentence structure. They make a lot of mistakes, lot of minor mistakes and basic mistakes which they should not do it. So for that, if you should understand your problem first, that's what I'm saying. Record yourself, understand your problems. Then if you think that you have a big or major problem with the prepositions or any part of speech personally, then you should go for it and you should watch the lectures and try to implement. But if you're able to do well overall without going through it, it's well and good.
Yeah, I literally wanted to spill the wins about it. Actually, I have
Mhm.
never worked on the position. I have never worked on the parts of speech, but I know the definition of them when I was in the primal phase or in the primitive phase of this language. So that time I went through with all the things. I was going through with the structures of spoken English, including parts of speech models, and tenses, passives, and all. But that much I could put in my subconscious brain. I kept with myself every time, and still I have been pushing them in my speaking as well. So whenever like I get to know any kind of new word, any kind of advanced kind of vocabulary, I also try to gather some vocabulary so that I also can incorporate them in my communication. But when it comes to using like parts of speech and preposition, so I consider myself that I'm very weak in that, and I have never worked on that, literally.
Yes, you're right. Even though I did not go through all those things a lot, that's right. But what I am telling you that by listening to the conversations, by listening to English, actually by putting 120%, you can learn all those things indirectly without going through the grammar exercises. And if you are able to do it, you don't need to go through it. It is not very, I would say, it is compulsory because you cannot speak English all the time incorrectly. But if you're making one mistake here and there, it's okay. But later on, find out your mistake and try to find the solution for it. That's what I'm talking about. Even though, to be honest, I don't even know the definitions of all those part of speech. You wouldn't believe. I don't know that. Even though as a child, I did not go through it. And before learning this language, also, I did not go through it very much. But I know somewhat where to use and how to have a better sentence structure. That is the reality. But I have been practicing the same thing for a very long period of time that helped me to speak better or to converse with the people. So even though uneducated people can do it, right? Uneducated Americans, they can speak English. Uneducated Indians, they can speak Hindi. How they can do it? They don't even know that what is Hindi grammar. They don't even know like what is English grammar, but they are living in a surrounding so where they can listen to people speak Hindi. So that's how they learn it. Even though I created an artificial environment where most of the time my room is surrounded with English environment only.
So okay, so I'm just gonna ask very common question. That is completely, extremely common question, I would say. So
Mhm.
the question is, what all things do you do to work on your communication? Because I literally want to know that thing, because I have witnessed your many sessions on YouTube with different kind of speakers. So so I have witnessed that you are having great conversation with them every time. So so I just want to know your strategy, because I have asked like to lot many people, those who have been endeavoring to learn this language, and I have asked this question to many people as well. So I have got lot many answers so far, and I also try to apply them in myself as well, so that I also can enhance my interpersonal as well as my communication skills. So what all kind of strategy do you do, or what all kind of work do you put on yourself to work on to improve your skills, particularly
Yeah, well,
communication skills on?
mhm. So when First thing, communication skills are completely different from spoken English skills. Some people are confused and some people don't even understand that. I see many speak, everybody in Uttar Pradesh speaks Hindi, but you cannot say they are good communicators because they don't know like where to speak and how to speak and what to speak. So for communication, you need to understand the situation that where you are going to speak what. Okay. So for that, what I did, listening is very important, and observing personalities, big personalities and good speakers and good public speakers. So they have a great sense of humor and they present things in a way that is going to impress others. So that's what I did. And I tried everything. When I started my spoken English journey, I used to speak in front of mirror and I used to act like I'm a wonderful speaker, waving hands of the like mirror, and I'm a celebrity. That's what I manifested, and I did all those activities. I practiced this tongue twisters. I used to read and record myself, okay, with the tongue twisters. I used to speak like a motivational speaker sometimes, and I would record my things. So I tried everything, whatever people told me to do it. Started speaking in front of camera. I used to take a paragraph. I used to speak out loud. Sometimes I used to mimic like native speakers too, and I would mimic everything. Sometimes my parent also they used to say like you are totally mimicking like some English people. I used to mimic them a lot. That helped me to learn all those things. And nowadays, how is my schedule? Nowadays, I don't do all those activities, to be honest. Whenever sometimes I'm doing with my students, if they want me to present them and they want me to that how to do it, that time I do it. But personally, I do not do all those things a lot at this moment. But nowadays, I conduct sessions with the people as much as I can. Sometimes I go through the video and watch and try to learn something new, and I conduct sessions for my students. So means now I have created that environment already, which I did not have in the past, because now I became a trainer and I'm conducting sessions every day. So even though if I'm not interested, but I have to do it, I'm watching stories with my students, I'm reading articles with my students, I'm speaking on multiple topics. Knowingly, unknowingly, I'm getting all those things in my head, right? So that's how it is. So that's why I tried everything possible to become better in it. And nowadays also, whatever the recommendations I get from native speakers or some good trainers, I make sure at least I get time and I work on it. So reading, writing, not I did not do a lot of writing, to be honest, but I used to write my affirmations. I used to write journals sometimes in the beginning. All those activities I do, but I did, but nowadays I don't do it, to be honest. Nowadays only listening,
Okay.
watching, and speaking with the people as much as I can.
Thank you for explaining your experiences and your routine as well. And now I'm gonna ask my last question, but not the least. The question is like, as you told me that you have been having some conversation with the foreigners as well. So how do you get the chance to connect them?
Yeah, I'm a part of some international community. In the COVID-19, when I was back at home, I started using many platforms like Hi Local, Clubhouse, Hello
Okay.
Talk, so and Halo. So there were many platforms where native speakers or people from other countries used to be there. So I spent a lot of time there, spending on the stage, talking to people. So that's how we became friends. And now I have a community where I have people from all around the world, not from a single country. And second option is that there are many YouTubers out there. So sometimes I watch their video and I send them mail that if they are interested. So of course we can collaborate because collaboration is very important for YouTube. So that's how I get people and they show interest to understand like how is my audience and what kind of benefits they can get it from my YouTube channel. At the same time, I want to invite people who are very good in it. So that's how I get international people. So I got many friends from Clubhouse mainly, and I used to use it in the past, but nowadays also I'm using it. So that's how I got those friends, and they come across a lot of people. So that's how they introduce me, and we introduce each other, and we become friends.
Yeah. Now I'm done with my questions. If you have any question, you can ask. Otherwise, we are good to wrap up this session. If you have any question, you can ask to me.
Yeah, I already asked you enough. So thank you so much. So many, many thanks to you for inviting me. And it was really nice talking to you. And I hope you would
Yeah.
be working really hard to become better as much as you can, because this is a language. At the same time, it is not a rocket science, but it demands a lot of efforts and consistency for you to become better.